How's it going, everybody? This is Maxwell McGee here checking out Darkstalkers Resurrection along with Derek Neal, producer on the game. Derek, how you doing today?
I could not be doing better. I'm so excited to bring you guys Darkstalkers Resurrection. I can't wait to show you some of the cool features we got in this thing.
And speaking of features, Derek, I think we're starting out in the one of the game's tutorial modes. Is that correct?
That's correct. So there's actually 2 different games included in the bundle. And for each of the games that's included, there is a fully featured tutorial/challenge mode that walks you through some useful combos and strategies and things that you might want to know for all the characters. So if you're new to the franchise, or even if you're an experienced veteran looking to up your game, that sort of thing, there's a lot of stuff to learn here for every single character, whichever one you prefer.
So is it sort of the standard where each character has like 20 trials?
Yeah, that's exactly the sort of thing. So they're broken into multiple chapters. You can see here 5 chapters of Dimitri's combo trials, which Andrew's currently working on. The chapters themselves are further subdivided into sections. So when you complete one section, it'll take you on to the next section. So it's not necessarily just 5 individual combos or whatever. There's some more stuff there. There's also text kind of explaining why you might want to do this, how it can be useful.
So these aren't just like, here's how you do a fireball with this character, here's how you do a shoryuken with this character.
Correct. They're more like, here's a way you can attack your opponent high, and then you can mix it up with this other thing that will attack them low, and they have to defend differently depending on which strategy you choose.
And then are the strategy descriptions tailored to individual characters?
Absolutely, they are. They're actually told from the perspective of that character. So they're written using that character's tone of voice and stylings.
Can you give like what's an example? I imagine like Felicia's might be super airheaded or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. So for example, Sasquatch is trying to protect the Bigfoot people, so they'll make references to the ancient secrets of the Bigfoot people and how you're learning this so that you can go out and protect the Bigfoot people and things of that nature.
Okay.
So referencing their story backgrounds and their personalities.
And then, so in addition to these challenges, what other sorts of instructional modes are there in this game? If instructional is even a word. I think
sure. Well, so there is in addition to the individual tutorials for each character, there's also a fully featured training mode where you can go to practice the moves and do all sorts of additional things. The training mode has a bunch of features, not just the standard traditional ones that you expect, but a bunch of other features that we've added to put a little.
Can we expect all of the functionality that was in, say, NBC Origins?
A lot more than what was in NBC Origins. Yeah. So one of the things that you've got is the ability to save state and reload state, so you can set up a combo or something, get the enemy in exactly where you want them, and then save that spot and go back to it whenever you want later. You can also set recordings for the dummies. You can also change individual character things. There's also options that are specific to each of the games. So, for example, Dark Force is something you can turn on in Darkstalkers 3, but not in Night Warriors. So for that reason, when you're in Darkstalkers 3, there's a training mode option for that, but it doesn't exist in Night Warriors.
Are there save slots for the recordings that you can make?
Not for the training mode recordings, but you can save entire matches that you play as replays. You can play them back later, you can upload them, rate them to our match server, and you can upload them to YouTube from straight within the game. So if you're interested in learning some other character strategies and stuff, you can go onto the match server, search for other people that play this character. Like let's say that you want to know, let's say you play Morrigan and you want to know how to fight against Dimitri. You can go onto the match server, search for matches where a player playing Morrigan beat Dimitri players.
And then you can sort of analyze.
And have been highly rated by the community, and then you can watch it back and see what they did and how they got around the things that they did in New Problem. Yeah.
And then on the topic of watching, I think you also mentioned, before we jumped on here, there's like a group watch mode when you're watching replays?
That's correct, yeah. We call it Watch with Friends. And basically, because we've got this replay server full of matches, we've set up a streaming room where you can go into the streaming room, it's called Watch with Friends, and import a playlist of replays and then sit there and watch them with your friends and talk about the strategies and discuss what's going on if you don't want to hop into a lobby and play.
So then, outside of training, outside of the challenge mode that we saw earlier, what are some of the other additional features in Resurrection?
Well, one of the big things is our vault, which is full of all kinds of unlockable content, movies and concept art, and a couple of other hidden surprises that we'd like our fans to check out. Hopefully when they buy the game. It lets you zoom in and check out all of the individual pieces of art. It also, you can hide the little thing that pops up when you do it. you unlock it through the use of vault points.
Okay.
And where you get vault points from is while you're playing the game, you are constantly earning these for everything that you do. So
if I'm playing arcade or I'm playing versus or online or whatever.
Correct. You'll constantly be earning these. And the way they're awarded is actually based on the dynamic challenges that get pushed to you while you're playing the game. So when you're playing in arcade mode, what you'll see is if you're not in a widescreen view mode, if you're in one of the 4x3 view modes, that real estate on the side of the screen is used to display objectives that get pushed to you dynamically while you play. Things like do a taunt, or light an opponent on fire, or hit with a combo that's so many hits, or do a guard cancel. These things get harder and more complicated as you continue beating them. They level up, they push you to other aspects of the game. And so in a way, it's another of those instructional elements where maybe you don't know what a guard cancel is. Maybe when I said that just now, your eyebrow went up a little bit. Well, if you want to be able to unlock all of the content and stuff, you're gonna have to learn. Because you won't be able to complete all of the trials without learning.
Or if the trial did pop up with guard cancel and you didn't know what that was, that might prompt you to be like, oh, hey, maybe I need to jump into the help or something and figure out what they're talking about.
And there's a description of all of that stuff, kind of a text explanation of all of that stuff available in the help menu that will walk you through all of these different game features and how to use them if you're not already familiar with them. So in addition to that stuff, the online mode is extremely fully featured. We have 8-player online, spectator mode support, tournament support, streaming support for the replays in the Watch with Friends room, the replay uploading, downloading, searching, sorting that I mentioned earlier, and the YouTube connectivity, straight to your personal YouTube account.
So Brayden, how does that feature function? How do I get my replay from the game into YouTube?
It's pretty easy. So it is a little bit different depending on which console you're on.
Okay.
But the basic process is just play a match, save a replay, go into settings, and then go into the replay menu, select the settings for that, and select upload to YouTube. And then just enter your YouTube credentials. It'll ask you username and password, enter them in, and you're good to go. On Xbox, it's slightly more complicated because of the way the Microsoft network infrastructure is. You have to first authorize your YouTube account. So there's an additional step of going to a web page to authorize your account.
But is that like a one-time authorization?
It's a yeah, exactly. It's a one-time authorization, and then you can just upload from directly within the game. But you do have to complete that step first.
All right, Derek, before I cut you loose here, I want to know a little bit more about this Darkstalkers community contest you guys had recently.
Oh man, that thing was so much fun. So we had over 800 entries to this, and it was really, really hard picking the best 8 out of that. I was part of the team that was involved in judging the entries, and there was so much work and care put into those things. But we got multi-page PDFs that, 10 to 12 pages that included frame data.
I know, I heard some contestants actually included like frame data, went into like the full nitty-gritty of what
they did. Character backgrounds that were awesome. My personal favorite character was this spider lady whose own goal in life was to hunt down QB and consume her.
Are you just not a QB fan at all?
Well, it's not that. It's just, first of all, the art that was supplied for it looked very much like the Darkstalkers art. I thought it fit the world really well. Secondly, that kind of story is exactly the kind of story that exists in the Darkstalkers universe. Like, this is exactly the kind of relationship these characters have with each other, generally speaking.
Now, before we get too far ahead, I think let's set up what were the rules for the contest first, in case people aren't familiar.
So the rules were pretty straightforward. It was not an art contest. We were looking for character design. So what we were judging based on was really not how good you are at drawing, but how cool the character concept is and how well we thought it fit into the Darkstalkers universe. And the people, the top 8 that were wound up being selected, the ones that won, got pretty cool prizes, art books, and the actual final winner got to have his character drawn by Stanley Lau, one of the artists that did all of the new art for Darkstalkers Resurrection, for example, has worked with Capcom on a lot of these projects in the past.
Do you remember what his entry was?
Yeah, so the winner was this really amazing design of a treasure hunter style character who's an undead grave robber. And basically he goes around the world unearthing tombs of famous dead people, and then he fights using all of the relics that he's collected. So, one moment he whips out the Holy Grail, and the next he's got the Sword of Damocles, and the next he's got Medusa's head, and he's petrifying you and sticking you in this thing, and he bounces back and forth.
So he's drawing on like a lot of the supernatural tropes that Darkstalkers is already kind of known for.
Exactly, and it's again very true to the world. For example, Shinko and BB Hood pull items out of nowhere and throw them at you, or shoot you with Uzis that who know where they came from.
Yeah.
And so he's got the same kind of dynamic going on where, oh hey, now I'm hacking you with this sword, and now I've got this head in my hand, and now I've got this bracelet. and you know, all of these other elements from history and from all of these stories. And that's really what this game is it's an amalgamation of a variety of different mythologies and folklores brought together in a vibrant, funny but still serious setting. And that character encapsulated that really, really well.
All right, Derek, before we wrap up here, can you remind the viewers at home when Resurrection's coming out?
Absolutely. It's coming out March 12th and 13th for Xbox Live Arcade and PlayStation Network. It's $15, and for that you get 2 games with all the great features that we talked about mirrored across both.
All right, Derek, thank you so much for giving us this demo.
You're quite welcome.
Take care.